What you're watching right now is without a doubt one of those controversial pieces of potential evidence within the Dogman world. If you're familiar with the footage, you likely already have your mind made up on its authenticity, but if you watch till the end of this video, I might just be able to make you question what you currently believe. The story goes that this footage was found on a tape labeled Gable case, which is what gave the video its name. Allegedly, the Gable case tape was found in a box of assorted items an elderly woman had purchased at a garage sale back in 2004. The full tape is longer than the footage of the beast that I've been showing. The clip of our potential dogman is actually just the last bit of the complete video. The rest of the tape is about 3.5 minutes long and seems to basically just be a standard family home movie. In the part of the video that most people reference when discussing the Gable film, you can see a figure moving quadrupedally, kind of leaping at times, before seemingly attacking whoever was filming. Now, while dogmen are usually depicted standing or walking upright, there are a number of reports of them moving on all fours. Upon finding the strange footage, the old woman sent the Gable case tape to Michigan DJ Steve Cook. Now, if the name Steve Cook sounds familiar, that's because his 1987 song, The Legend, is a big part of what gave the Dogman phenomena national prominence. Interestingly, Cook based the song off of various werewolf legends, and wasn't actually aware of people reporting seeing these creatures when he wrote it. Before I get into my thoughts on what's in the footage itself, I'd like to begin by just talking about the backstory that was attached to the footage when it was given to Cook. The backstory of a piece of cryptid footage that ends with a dogman attacking the camera operator somehow being recovered, not investigated at all apparently by law enforcement or anyone else, and then just being forgotten and thrown into a box of items that was sold at a garage sale, is full of so many creepypasta cliches that I almost expected the box to also contain the lost episode of Scooby-Doo with hyper-realistic Scrappy-Doo. As a general rule, when a cryptid sighting sounds like a spooky story someone would write, that's a pretty big red flag for me in terms of authenticity. So the Gable film's backstory weakens the footage's credibility rather than strengthening it for me. Now, this footage showing an alleged dogman quickly gained traction online and sparked debates about its authenticity. A few years after it was uploaded, on March 24th of 2010, a television show named Monsterquest, a weekly History Channel show with each episode focusing on a different cryptid, aired its final episode, focused on eyewitness reports of Dogman. The part of this particular episode that's still discussed today is the segment where they brought on a man claiming to be the one behind the Gable film, a fellow named Mike Agrusa. He showed what he claimed were the props used in the video, and explained that the dogman was actually just him in a ghillie suit, and performed this recreation of the Gable film. He also stated that Steve Cook was not in on it. The episode didn't give any explanation for the end footage. That seemed to show the creature attacking the camera, but they did say it seemed to have been from another clip that was then spliced together with a clip showing the creature jumping around. With all that said, there's one problem I still have with Monsterquest's version of the story. When you watch the recreation of the video that aired on Monsterquest, the way that the creature moves just does not resemble what's shown in the Gable film. In the Gable film, you can clearly see quick, explosive movement that is, no pun intended, leaps and bounds more impressive than what aired on Monsterquest. Now, I don't know if I could confidently say it's completely impossible for a human to replicate these movements. There are some pretty explosive people out there, but the video suggests that if there are people that can replicate the movement, Mike Agrusa is not one of them. The movements in the recreation footage are much more awkward. His individual movements don't cover nearly as much ground as the individual movements of what's shown in the Gable film, and he doesn't switch directions like the subject of the Gable film does. Frankly, a lot of people that argue Monsterquest's finale debunked the Gable film seem to have just heard that the Monsterquest episode recreated the creature's movement and haven't actually seen the episode themselves. Which, I mean, fair enough. Unlike me, most people probably have better things to do than watch old episodes of a show that ended almost 15 years ago. Now, what's really interesting to me is that prior to the Monsterquest episode being released, the skeptic consensus on this footage seems to have been that it wasn't a dogman, given that there are skeptics, but rather some type of known animal, such as a known canine, a gorilla, a bear, a wolverine with some perspective tricks being played, etc. I repeat, pretty much nobody was even suggesting that what we're seeing here is a man in a suit when the footage was first released, to the point where even many skeptics were saying that the creature's movements couldn't be replicated by a human being, and that it does have to be some type of animal doing them. They said that the clip at the end showing the creature attacking the cameraman was likely just added in the editing room, which I actually agree with. Now, interestingly, a number of people, including the wolf researcher in the Monsterquest episode that discussed the footage, have noted that the creature's appearance and its movements seem to be more similar to a primate's than a canine's. Now, skeptics will chalk this up to the figure being a grusa in a ghillie suit. We are primates after all, but I think there's another potential explanation here. Despite the name Dogman, there are numerous reports of variants of these creatures that seem to be more similar to bipedal primates with snouts than they are to canines. These primate-like dogmen are referred to as type 3s. If, and that is a very big if, the Gable film does show an actual dogman, I think it's very likely it's one of these type 3s moving quadrupedally. Now, I'm not saying that I'm convinced the Gable film is real. We're not exactly talking about the Patty film here. I'm not even saying that I lean towards it being real. But I do think that after watching the video, watching the Monsterquest episode, and looking into it all on my own, I still have some questions. Why does the way that the creature moves in the video look so different from how it looked on Monsterquest? Since Monsterquest was looking to do a debunking of the footage, it's not like they had to go with the first take of him trying to recreate the movement. If the Gable film really was legitimate, well, why would a grusa go on Monsterquest and say that it wasn't? Some people in the Dogman community think that there's some type of government cover-up going on with these creatures and that the Men in Black somehow got to a grusa and forced him to say it was faked. I'm not sure that I necessarily believe that version of events. Others have suggested that Monsterquest paid him off to say it was a hoax. Again, a claim I'm skeptical of. I've had one of my videos be licensed out to be used in these paranormal TV shows before. When I signed the paperwork back in 2021, the standard rate for a video showing a potential cryptid was $300. On one of the phone calls, they even told me word for word, "You're not going to be putting your kids through college with this money." Now, grusa and the Gable film were much bigger parts of the Monsterquest finale than my video was of the episode of The Proof is Out There that it aired in. Season 2, Episode 6, The Nightcrawler and the Beast in the Trees, for anyone interested. I mean, heck, I wasn't even interviewed in the episode itself. Still, I think anyone who believes that the History Channel just threw money at a grusa to get him to say that it was fake when it was really genuine is seriously overestimating the budgets of these shows and likely underestimating the potential profitability in being the owner of one of the only videos that could potentially show a real dogman. Plus, if a grusa really caught a dogman on video, well, why make up the backstory of an old woman purchasing the tape at a garage sale? If a grusa wasn't really the person that either filmed or discovered the footage, why hasn't the real film owner come forward? If the footage is genuine, why was the fake attack clip spliced in? My final verdict is that I wouldn't use the Gable film as evidence of these creatures existing. I can't really make a great defense for it being genuine, but I can't completely write it off either. So, what do you think? Could there be any truth to what's shown in the Gable film? Let me know in the comments section below.